Boxing with Frank Warren and Queensbury here with the British middleweight champion, young Denzel Bentley.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm all good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, now you're preparing for a first defence of the title against Marcus Morrison, September 16, top of the bill at York Hall. Feelings?
Feel good, man. Feel confident. Training's been going well, so I can't really complain. Everything's just been good so far, so I'm in a good place right now.
I think it's a fight that people seem to be appreciating, aren't they? Sort of, you look at the fight Bentley Morrison, you say, yeah, I'll have that.
Yeah, no, cool.
So people generally, I think it's a fight people are looking forward to.
Yeah, no, they are. He's someone that tries all the time. He's not, he doesn't really just like back down or go in his shell. He just stepped up and hasn't been good enough for the levels he stepped up to.
When he was younger, isn't it? Yeah. Sort of
But he does try. He can punch, and I haven't been in a boring fight yet. So I guess any fight I'm in, people will be excited to see. To be honest,
he's got a profile, isn't he? I mean, partly he's from a successful gym.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably one of the last ones there, but they're waiting to get to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
So I suppose he probably feels a bit of pressure like that. But like you say, yourself, when the gym's successful, it can rub off, can't it?
No, 100%. If the gym's successful, like, you want to be in the same bracket as these guys. You know what I'm saying? When someone's talking about your gym and they're talking about the top fighters from your gym, you want to be mentioned in that light. Like, you don't want to be going around, you don't want to be in that gym for years and years and for as long as anyone else. But when they're mentioning the top guys, everyone's leaving you out. Like, you're part of that too. So you're going to want to start, pushing on and achieving things.
I remember years ago, I think when I think it was around the time when all the lionesses and all that everyone was giving you a bit of a swerve when you were coming through.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned Marcus Morrison, didn't you? I don't know if you actually called him out or you said you were thinking of calling him out. Do you remember that?
I was told, first fight back for lockdown, I was told I'm possibly be facing Marcus Morrison. And a couple of weeks later, it changed to Mick Hall. So obviously I sent out a tweet like, oh, what happened to you? Like, I thought we were meant to be fighting. And he's come back like, oh, wait your turn. Okay, fair enough. And then by the end of that year, I'd won the British. And he tweeted me like, oh, can I get a crack at that? And I told him get into the back of the queue. So we had a bit of fun with each other online and stuff, but yeah.
What? I mean, obviously you know him as style-wise. I mean, how do you see it playing out? Explain what sort of fight we're going to get.
I don't know, if I'm being honest with you. I just know I've got to be on point. That's what I know. I know I've got to do what I do. I know I've got to be myself. I can't let him, take away what I do well. And can't really focus on him. I've got to focus on myself. But I'm not really sure what type of fight to expect. It depends on his mindset. He might be going in there like, look, this is my last chance. Like, give or take, I've got to go in there and, throw the kitchen sink at him kind of thing. So.
What's your intentions, though? Is it to be quick out of the blocks? Because your last the two major fights you've had, you haven't been quick out of the blocks. Was that a conscious thing, or you think I'm going to have a look for a couple of rounds? Because obviously it didn't work out against Felix and then against Linus. By your own consent, he had those first couple of rounds because you decided to have a look. Do you want to be quicker out of the blocks?
I'm not really bothered about all that stuff, to be honest. I think with Linus, I thought he started too quick, so I thought you're starting mad quick. So let me just, take my time and, just switch the pace as the rounds go on, and that's what I done. And obviously, you see, who came out on top after that. But
do you remember that old Denzel though? Fights used to last.
Yeah, I know.
20 seconds,
but
didn't they?
I just feel like everyone's trying harder now. And
if we got 90 seconds, we thought we had a treat. Didn't we?
Yeah, I used to come out quite fast, didn't I? Yeah. That was just excitement.
Bloke?
I was an excitement of a young professional, just excited to just be in the ring. And I think now, obviously, the levels are stepping up. Everyone's trying a bit harder. And it's like, if I do that, we're just going to be in the middle of the ring having a tear up, which I'm sure the fans would love to see. But I think I've got to be a bit smarter. But I'm always going to have that in me. So as the rounds step on, you'll see more of that, essentially. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, it's good.
I'm tempted to give it a try, see if the old magic's still there.
Maybe we'll see how it goes. You never know.
I know you don't really want to look beyond Morrison, but what do you feel can be achieved in the next 12 months or rest of this year into next year?
Like you said, one fight at a time, innit? But if it all goes well, God willing, I think I could be in a position to fight for a world title by the end of next year. But I said that the other year about this year, so you never know, innit? You never know.
Do you want to keep this British, or do you want to move on to the international stuff?
I do want to move on to that international stuff. If the opportunity presents itself for me to keep the British, that'd be great, and I do that. But it all depends on what's there and what's available and what makes sense, essentially. Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to think who's around is to make it viable, because normally you've got to look and think, is there 4 or 5 opponents who are going to give me these defences in a reasonably quick time where it doesn't drag on forever?
Exactly.
But they've got to be there, haven't they? And I'm
They've got to be there.
not sure they are they? Really?
No, when I think about it, I don't think there is, but I don't want to think about it too much because I've still got a task at hand. I can't just act like I'm going to walk all over Marcus Morrison, even though I want to, but I'm not going to act like, oh, this is an easy job. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Now, lastly, I want to talk to you about your mate Janibek.
Janibek.
You keep talking about him now I see, but he's now a full world champion because nobody seems to want to fight him, but apparently you do. Yeah,
definitely. I'm up for any fight, but he's a great fighter, by the way. Great fighter. I think he's so sick. I think he's a great fighter, but it's a fight I think I can win.
Would you jump into that now?
I got to build myself to that. Do you know what I mean? I got to build my ranking, build myself to that, make it worthwhile. Like, you don't want to just jump into a world title fight
because he needs an opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Because he needs an opponent. I don't want to come in there as an opponent. I want to come in there as a real challenger, a real, someone that's got a real chance. And I got to build myself to that kind of stage.
If you jumped in, all you're really doing is shortening your own career.
Unless I bang him out. But unless it doesn't go well. But I got to build myself to that stage, and I feel like if I keep saying his name, more eyes will be attracted to that fight. But it's not a fight where you want to jump in just because he needs an opponent. I'm not an opponent for anyone. So let me build myself in terms of resume, in terms of
the next 3 to 4 years, haven't you? You're not thinking about the next 3 to 4 months, are you? So
exactly
you've
that.
Got to spread these. You've got to build this career.
Yeah.
And your earning potential over a period of time.
Over a period of time. So
you don't want a big cash out fight early next year, do you?
That's the thing. I'm not here to cash out anyway, so I wouldn't be taking a cash out fight, if that makes sense. I want to build myself to a real household solid name. So like, even if like to a point where we could potentially get him over here in the UK, I can't do that now. I haven't got that pulling power. You know what I mean? So I want to keep building myself, get myself into a managed position. I want to earn it. I want to earn it so people know I'm not just here to take a payout, or I'm not just here to...
Well, you want people to say, that's a good fight.
Yeah, exactly that as well. I want people to say, that's a good fight.
Not sort of say, Denzel's rolling the dice.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to be in a position where, I know I've done everything I need to do leading to that fight. You know what I mean? And I've taken on back-to-back tough opponents domestically. So I think I'm preparing myself that way for that fight. But now I need to prepare myself commercially to get that commercial value. And like you said, I'm up my earning potentials and be more known to the world. So when that fight does come, it's a mega fight.
How good is he?
I think he's amazing. I think he's a very good fighter.
I think it's a real deal sort of thing.
I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think there's anyone that can't be beaten out there.
You think Andre just sort of thought not enough? Probably not enough reward for...
It's not worth it for him. Like, he's fought every mandatory he's had. And it's like, now I'm going with another mandatory, which is very dangerous. And he has the opportunity to move up and try and become a freeweight world champion. If he beats Zach Parker, he'll be mandatory for Canelo, which is a fight he wants. So it makes sense for him. He wants Canelo. What's he doing fighting Janibek? If he wants Canelo, you move up, you win that fight. What's that?
It's not a duck then.
No, I don't think that's a duck. Listen, he's been at middleweight.
People underestimate him, don't they?
He's chased so many big fights that hasn't got any of them. And now he's doing the right thing, in my opinion. The winner of Zach Parker and Andrade become mandatory for Canelo. And that's the fight he wants, Canelo. Do you know what I mean? So
it's funny when you hear people talk about Andrade, you sort of think, you almost think like he must be shit, and then you watch him fight and you go, enough good, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. No, he is. He's an amazing fighter as well.
British fighters, doesn't he?
He's taking all of us out, but he's just got an awkward style that you can't read. I think his style can't be taught. It can only be kind of nurtured. Like, you've got this style, it's going to make you good at it. Do you know what I mean? So you can't read the style that's throws them from everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, long distance uppercuts, and he's just always slipping. He's low. He comes up. He's got a good backhand, got a good work rate. He's jabs in your face all day. Like, he's a great fighter. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, it's just people underestimate him because his style's so unorthodox. It's like you don't teach that in boxing. It's just natural,
well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he starts well. He always starts well.
He starts so well, and then it's too easy for him, and he lets it drift. And
exactly.
I think that's where people criticise him.
Yeah, I think his last few fights at middleweight, from what I can remember, maybe 4 or 5, he's dropped his opponents in the early rounds, and then if they do survive, it just drags on, and you just, like you said, let it drift, maybe lose your concentration. Yeah.
Right. Could you see yourself ever doing super middle?
Yeah, as a challenge. I don't think I'm outgrowing middleweight in that sense. Even though I am getting older, I still make the weight quite comfortably. But as a challenge, yeah.
You'd probably know by 27, 28 if you're gonna.
Yeah, no, exactly. You see the way your
you?
body's filling out and stuff, and how hard it is to you know, cut down to your to middleweight or my previous weight, whatever. But you know, I want to go ahead and win a world title at middleweight, and then maybe take on a new challenge and say, all right, let's see what we can do at super middle. Do you know what I mean? Just to keep, you know, the journey fresh, and you know, give yourself a new challenge.
Yeah, and sometimes if you take on a bit more weight, sometimes you carry a bit more, carry a bit of power up.
Yeah. No,
you don't
definitely.
know.
You don't know, yeah, but there's a possibility that you can, because you're not cutting as much. You know what I mean? And I think when I'm training around them weights, I feel mad comfortable. So it's not like I feel too sluggish or heavy. I feel comfortable.
How much portion cutting do you have to do at this stage? Sort of.
Oh, not much. My weight's
Not too uncomfortable then.
Good. No, my weight's good. My weight's very good, especially this close as well. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm not even panicking about weight. I'm not even worried. Like, it's pretty much.
I suppose the ideal thing is to actually be at a weight where just the training gets you to where you need to be in it without the diet, without so much diet, where your activity and what you do strenuously gets you to where you want to be.
Yeah, then you're in a nice position. But sometimes if, you know, people blow up and then they've got a bit too much to do, and it's like a camp to lose weight.
Do you have to go on your mum's case over meals and that near at the time, sort of like, I can't have that, mum, I can't have that. Stop buying them and putting them in the fridge, you know.
I do that because, you know, African food is just heavy on oil and stuff and that. So just to make me feel better, I'd be like, mum, I can't have that. Not because, my weight's bad, mum, I can't have that. I can dibble and dabble a little bit, I'll have a little bit of that, but to have a whole plate and a portion of it, it's like, nah,
Does she stop sort of buying sweet stuff from near at the time, you know?
No, but there's a lot of us in the house, so she still buys it, but I just got to stay away from it, you know what I mean? So I kind of do my own shopping on the side, and I just know what I can have myself.
Get yourself a little fridge for your room.
Yeah, that's ideal. Then we'll have to keep going downstairs to the fridge and seeing all the good stuff in there.
Got to be done. Dens, September 16, top of the bill, your call, first defence, British title against Marcus Morrison. Wish you the best of luck as always.
Thank you.